How can I say thanks for the things he has done for me? Things so undeserved, yet he gave to prove his love for me. The voices of a million angels could not express my gratitude. All that I am or ever hope to be, I owe it all to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things he has done. Just let me live my life. Let it be pleasing, Lord, to thee. And if I gain any praise, let it go to Calvary. With his blood, he has saved me. With his power, he has raised me. To God be the glory for the things he has done. Thank you. God is good. All the time. All the time. I got to tell you one goodness of God is when I looked up and saw you all this morning. That is an example. I got to tell you, you got to be something to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be on a 5 o'clock bus. And I want to thank the organizers because you would have thought that I organized this, but I did not. You organized it yourself, and so thank you. Before I say a few words, I want to bring up Martin Luther King III. Two things. This is Good Friday. Yes. And always on Good Friday, I've been in Orlando for the sermons that they have. But today, I'm in Tallahassee, and we had a sermon here today. And we got a lot of young people here. Yes. And they're here and they're seeing history being made. Amen. And I want to bring up Martin Luther King III because we're celebrating 50 years of the Civil Rights Movement. And there is a movement to take us back. And we need to know that. And so let's give them a big hand. Don't push it.
Well, first of all, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And I am certainly happy to be here on Good Friday and to have shared an experience in the United States Federal Courthouse this morning with all of you who Congresswoman Brown represents extraordinarily well. But I'm here because it is said that wherever injustice occurs, injustice anywhere is an affront to justice everywhere. My dad often said, I can't be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you cannot be what you ought to be until I'm what I ought to be, because our destinies are tied together. Amen. But starting with the injustice, after 25 years, a congressional district that was drawn by federal judges has now a new district been created under the auspices of creating more districts for individuals who've been disenfranchised. It's just kind of strange that you would destroy one district and create another. That seems to me not to be what our system should be doing. A performing district more than anything else. Here's a history of a district that has performed for 25 years. And it really, I believe, only just minorly a district with a majority African American percentage, 50.6%. But it's been 46 or so percent. So you've created a new district that potentially, there's no history that this could happen. So it is certainly my hope that when the court comes back together after this extended period of time, that the court will reconstitute the former district. That's why I think most of us are here today. Now, there are technical provisions as it relates to Section 2. Although the Voting Rights Act was somewhat eviscerated by a Supreme Court decision in 2013, there are elements of the Voting Rights Act that still are in place, such as Section 2. And I won't talk about the specifics of Section 2, but Section 2 certainly allows for the district as it was constituted to certainly be sustained. Now, oftentimes, change has occurred with just a few good women and men. Today, there have been over 150 constituents who drove from Jacksonville, and maybe some from Orlando and other parts of the district, just to say that we don't want to be disenfranchised. This is not just about this congresswoman who has served the district extraordinarily well, but it's about your not being disenfranchised. And so I wanted to come to lend my voice on this special day, this Good Friday. Yes. Which, when victory occurs, will become Great Friday. It may not be on a Friday, it'll be on another day. But it started on Good Friday, which represents so much to us in the Christian community. We are a nation that is not just Christian, but in the Christian community and tradition, this is such an important time as we move towards Easter. And so I'm honored to be here to join each of you and Congresswoman Brown at this very special time. And you know, it may be that we have to come back again. Because we must come back until we see victory. Thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman Brown, and God bless you. Yeah, can you hold that? Yes, ma'am. Okay, I want to make a few remarks. I know we were all very much listening to the discussion in the district court, federal court. But I want to make a couple of points, because if you look at this map, this is the district that I presently represent. 140 miles. And I have heard them talk about the most meandering district and
all of this, a performing district now. The federal courts drew it. But this new district is 207 miles. I have not seen that anywhere. And it goes all the way to the Alabama line. I have it almost to the Alabama line. And it has 25 prisons in the district. 25 prisons. The present district have 3. 25 prisons. There is not another district in the entire United States with 25 prisons. Communities of interest. There is no community of interest. None whatsoever. They packed these prisons in this district. I wonder why. They cannot vote. They cannot vote. Now we know if you're in Florida, you cannot vote. And I'm very pleased that the judge said, bring me additional information. Because all you have to do, and I pulled it, how did they vote in the primary? We just had a primary, didn't we? How did they vote? I pulled every last county. And you know the people in prison didn't vote. But now, who do you think they voted for in the primary overwhelming? One guess. Well, no, it wasn't just a Republican. Let me hear who they voted for. Okay. So you think that the Trump people gonna be voting for the brown people? Give me a break. No. So that's where we are. Do you think the Trump people gonna be voting for not just the brown people? That there is some community of interest there. You know, I often say, what happens if I die today or tomorrow? Yes. The point is, I want to make sure that you have another person that looks and love you like I do.
Thank you.
It is not about me.
Hallelujah.
I have had the
Yes.
when you're born, you get a birth certificate. And when you die, you get a death certificate. And then the death in between is what you've done to make it a better place.
Hallelujah.
I've done the best
Yes,
I could.
you have. Hallelujah.
Dealing with what I've had to deal with.
Yes. Thank you.
The
Thank you.
best I could.
Thank you. Yes, you
But
have.
if I die today or tomorrow,
Yes,
I want to
sir.
make sure you can elect
Hallelujah.
somebody else
Yes.
that's going to stand up for you.
Hallelujah. 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 Yes, ma'am.
And let's be clear. It goes, I mean, you know, I can just tell you, we've helped save over 1 million people from foreclosures. Over not just in our district, but all over the country in Florida. We was hard hit. We need to make sure we have somebody that care about the people in the district. You talking about dividing the district, and look at Sanford. What happened in Sanford, Florida? Trayvon Martin was killed in Sanford, Florida, and no representation there. No one stood up there. And then when you look at this new district, you know, you got to have a farm team. It's got to be somebody in the lower level that can elevate themselves. You don't have but one elected official in the whole area between Jacksonville and Tallahassee. So, I mean, it's no community of interest. What you have is, and I hate to say it, but it looks like, to me, this was the opportunity, the perfect storm, as I read, to get rid of Corrine Brown. The perfect storm that used the system, and you know they use the system a lot. It's in the first use of the system. But I can tell you we are prepared to go as far as we have to go to make sure that the people that I represent presently are not disenfranchised.
We're with you. We're with you. We're with you.
Now, there was no discussion about Gainesville, Florida. But I'm so proud to represent Gainesville, Florida. And let me tell you a couple of reasons why. When they had the killing in that area, where did those people come to? They came to Gainesville. Where was that, the killing where they wouldn't let them come in? Rosewood. They came to Gainesville. And of course, Gainesville was the only other person elected to Congress before I was elected, and 129 years came from Gainesville, Florida.
All right.
And and listen, I want to repeat, the federal courts drew the district. I did not draw the district.
That's right.
The legislature didn't draw the district. And the Florida Supreme Court didn't draw the district. The federal court. And the last time I checked, now I've been elected 32 years, but the last time I checked, federal law supersedes local law, state law. And so I want to thank you so much. And listen, all of you are trailblazers, but I have here a couple of them. Mr. Pearson. Mr. Pearson.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up, Mr. Pearson.
Now, for you all who do not know, Mr. Pearson registered thousands of people. And listen, and I'm standing on Mr. Pearson's shoulder. And Sally Mitchell. Sally, raise your hand.
Sally Mitchell. Now
Sally is a retired railroad man, but he also was something in the military. And you all need to know something. When the train, he was on the train, and when the train got to a certain area, he had to go to the back of the train. However, the other white soldiers, they couldn't eat until he gave them the meal pass. So we got a great history, but the key is if we don't acknowledge our history, we'll go back. And there is a movement to take us back. And we are not going back. We've come too long.
Too long.
And we fought too hard.
Too hard.
And we just not going back.
Not going back.
And this is a wonderful statement to make on Good Friday. Good Friday. Because Sunday morning, he rose. And so we are waiting on Sunday morning. We are waiting. All power. And in closing, before I take questions from the press, but in closing, I can tell you how many people have come up to me in Jacksonville and everywhere I go and say, I'm praying for you. Praying for you. I guess the Lord just wanted us to be a more prayerful community. And so he's doing it through me. Because everybody is praying. Everybody is on their knees. And so, to whom God has given much, much is required. And so he's been good to me, and I guess he wants me to go through the burning fire. But I know Sunday morning, all going to be in his hands. All right, thank you.
Hallelujah.
The subpoena about your associations with One Door for Education. What have you said to your supporters?
I absolutely have not said anything to them because I didn't need to say anything to them. First of all, I have a team of attorneys, and they indicated to me that I should not talk about this matter until you have all of the information. Now, I know there were some questions about the House. The one thing about the House, first of all, there won't be no leaks. The House I won't read one side in the paper and not see the other side. Won't be no leaks in the House. When they ask us, there is a process in place. And I'm comfortable with the House. And so they got a procedure, and that's fine. Now, my constituents, they're here. and you can ask them anything you want to ask them. But rest assured, they don't have any questions for me because they know me. And they support me. And they know. Let the work I've done speak for me. So when I read in the paper this, that, and other, they know the story. So they don't have to ask me any questions. You have to ask the questions, but they know the answer.
Congressman Brown, the question we're asking is, you know, it's time to let people know what happened and your role, if there is any role.
Okay, but do you think it's time if my attorneys say it's not time? I pay them a lot of money. I mean, honestly, they tell me, zip it until we tell you. And they're doing their due diligence.
But Congresswoman Brown, don't you think the people you're representing have the right to know what's going on with their elected official?
Oh, no question about it. But do you think that if I've had a team of attorneys and they told me to zip it, or else they would divorce me, I don't know what you think I'm going to say. Now, let me tell you something. This is every media in the state, and I want to talk to you all. I got a lot I want to say, but I've got to follow. Where's my attorney? Is one in here? No? Okay, yeah, it's plenty of it. But they've told me to not talk about anything that they're doing their due diligence. I've got a team. You saw I've got a team, and so I've got to listen to that team. Now, if you want to ask me some questions about the redistricting, I want to hear it. Yes, sir.
Congresswoman, you haven't run in this area before.
That's right.
If the court rules against your position, how do you think you'll fare over here in this part of your district?
I'm going to wait until the court rule. I'm gonna wait and see what the court is going to say. You know, everybody says, well, you can win anywhere. It's not about me winning. It's about the African Americans having an opportunity to elect a candidate of their choice. And when you look at the area, and from Jacksonville over here, you look at those counties, they don't have an elected official that's African American. Not one. Now, recently I took the train from New Orleans to Jacksonville, and we had hundreds of people turning out. You know, everybody know about 9/11, but no one knows that it was over 3,000 people that got killed during Katrina. I wonder why they didn't know that. Over 3,000, because they were black and poor. And we have these black and poor pockets all over this state and all over this country. And they need a voice. We don't need to go back to what it was before.
Congresswoman, did you know Vaughn Alexander was a subcontractor for JTA, and do you think that's a conflict of interest?
Oh, no, I don't know. Where are you from? Channel Fox?
Action News Jax.
Oh, good. But let me try again. My attorneys said don't answer any questions. Now, and so unless you have a question about redistricting,
but these are the things.
Did I mislead you that I was going to talk about anything other than redistricting?
The people that you represent have
no, these are the people I represent.
There are more than just the people in this country.
Yeah, and absolutely. And my phone is being blown up, and they're calling, telling me that they're praying for me. And so what I'm saying is, I have no comments whatsoever.
Congresswoman, outside the specifics of that case, the last time the Department of Justice asked the Ethics Committee to slow down, to defer to them, those two members went to jail, Michael Grimm, Jesse Jackson Jr. Are you concerned that there's some real level of, is there any real level of concern to you that the Department of Justice is involved?
Hey, listen, I think it's scary anytime anybody come and ask you questions. But the point is, if you know the answers to the questions, and you have a team of attorneys that's working on it, you let them handle it. Period. In fact, my attorney said, don't do this press conference because of these two questions here. I said, no. I'm doing the press conference. We're talking about the redistrict. That's what I'm interested in. And I've been fighting this fight And I do think it's an organized effort to take me out now. Now, I do believe that.
At the Department of Justice level, you think at the administration level, the Department of Justice level?
And when you say administration level, I hope you're not talking about the president.
Well, he's the one who controls the Department of Justice.
Do you think he talks with the Department of Justice? Do you think he tells the Department of Justice what to do?
Where's the organized effort
hey,
coming from?
listen, my attorneys told me in this
I'm actually
area.
responding to a comment you just made, though.
Oh, good.
I'm asking where the.
Well, I'm saying that's why I shouldn't make no comments.
Are you confident that when this is resolved,
yeah, I do.
that you'll come out clean?
Oh, I am clean. Goodness, clean. Yes.
Representative Brown, what bearing, if any, do you think the Jefferson County ruling has on your case?
Well, you know, I talked to my attorneys, and I've talked to several attorneys about it. And I feel that the prison is a major part, but you got to get, from what I could gather from the hearing today, that they need additional information. I'm going to make sure we get that. Experts. And let me just say one thing. I want everybody to hear this. One of the reasons why we have not gotten, you know, it's very expensive to go in court. And I heard them, well, why is it that you didn't have something? And someone slipped me a note that cost $5,000, and someone else said, well, that cost $10,000. So this is very expensive, and so I am going to need help. And everybody, and I've seen these candidates on TV saying, "Help, send money." I've never said that. Help, send money.
What are you asking for money for?
To help with the legal fight.
Of redistricting or the ethics legal fight?
Okay, now what are we talking about?
I'm asking you.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Both.
And you know, I often think about the question that you asked me, and it was asked in the court today. You asked me, what about the people up here? They don't have representation. You asked me that the last time I was in Tallahassee, and you know, and you're from Jacksonville. What about the people that I represent in Eatonville and Sanford and Gainesville? They're not going to have representation. And the idea, and I'm not going to call the member's name, it took me almost 20 years to get the Sanford Housing Authority cleaned up. So now you telling me the only person that needs to represent that area want to sell the Hanford Housing Authority?
Sanford was taken out of your district after a special
session.
No.
Sanford is still in the District 5. Sanford is there. No, it is not out of my district.
And back to my question, when you were saying you need money, I just want to make sure I'm clear, understand.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
We're talking about redistricting.
We're talking about redistricting, and I said, how do you go online and make a contribution to Corrine Brown? You have to say Corrine Brown for Congress, $5, whatever. I've seen candidates do it on TV. I think it's amazing. I never thought you all could afford it.
So the League of Women Voters is arguing that you've got, under their map, you've got an opportunity for an African American seat in North Florida as well as Central Florida.
No, I don't agree with that.
Why not?
Look, that district, the 10, and listen, and I think my attorney said it over and over again in court. We want more African American districts, but I have an access district. You can draw 10, you can strengthen it, but if you look at Florida, if you look at the percentages of African Americans in Florida, we only have one seat, and that's in Miami. Alcee Hastings district is, you change the lines a little bit, it's no longer African American, it's Jewish. And my district has always been an access district. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can draw 27 of them. But the point is, do not disenfranchise the people that I represent. And the League of Women Voters don't speak for nobody in this room, not one.
So they were talking about communities of interest. One argument that the intervener attorney made was that there could be communities of interest stitched. Any number of urban areas in Florida could kind of constitute.
Absolutely. Let me just tell you a story. I used to represent St. Augustine, St. Johns County, and when they constantly have refined the district, you know, trying to make it look a certain way. All right.
one last question.
I just want to ask a procedural question about the.
Okay, can I answer her question because I think it's important. And so the ministers in St. Johns County called me over. It was raw sewer on the ground. And so I helped them get a federal grant. And I went to see Jeb Bush. And I was talking to him about it. And he says, well, Corrine, St. Johns County is one of the richest counties in Florida. Now, I want to be clear. It could have been Jeb Bush. It could have been any governor. But I said the area I represent reminds me of Haiti in St. Johns County. So I don't know where you're from in Florida, but we got these pockets in our area, even over here in Tallahassee, that they have had representation, but they've been ignored. They've been ignored, and that's the point I'm making. When you look at the problems that I had in Sanford, and to this day, I was the only person that spoke up when Trayvon Martin was killed. Jackie Robinson and the other players, they had to get a special permission from the baseball league not to stay there. They spent the night in Daytona because of the situation there. And I can tell you it's still a hot situation in that area. And so I want to repeat that we have major problems in this state and the area that I represent.
Did you have any problems with the judges today with their line of questioning?
No. What can I say? I mean, I'm not my attorneys say I'm an attorney wannabe, so I don't quite understand all of the questions, but I thought they were good.
I just want to ask you, if the injunction is turned down, would you appeal the injunction ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court, which is actually under these type of cases where it would go? Are you prepared to go to the U.S. Supreme Court?
I'm prepared to do whatever is necessary.
Okay, thank you all. This concludes the press conference.
Yeah, the restaurant is asking for the media to kind of vacate. They have other customers. We're not even getting.